Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are leaving Washington without passing an immigration bill. And while earlier this week, President Trump demanded that Congress fix immigration laws, now he says Republicans should wait until after the November elections. NBC's Blayne Alexander has the story from Washington, where the president met with a different group of families speaking out on immigration.
President Trump standing with some of the people he says are hardest hit by a flawed immigration system, families of those killed by undocumented immigrants.
Your loss will not have been in vain. We will secure our borders.
The president working to shift the spotlight that for days has focused on migrant children at the border.
We weren't lucky enough to be separated for 5 days or 10 days. We're separated permanently.
I wear his ashes in a locket. This is how I get to hug my son.
And after repeatedly demanding that Congress take urgent action to fix immigration laws, now a stunning about-face, urging Republicans to stop wasting their time on immigration and wait until after the midterm elections, suggesting there will be fewer Democrats in office. His Capitol Hill allies chalking that up to frustration.
And that Democrats don't want to solve the problem while we do. We're going to move forward and we're going to have a vote.
As soon as next week, despite opposition to the bill from within their own party, Democrats say they've been shut out altogether.
We're not included.
Down at the border, the question remains, how will the more than 2,000 children already separated from their families be reunited? The administration claims nearly 500 are now back with their parents. Among them, 7-year-old Darwin and his mother, who successfully sued the government to find him. After more than a month apart, the two back together, but their future in America still uncertain. Blayne Alexander, NBC News, Washington.